All right, Nick. Detroit Lions played on Thanksgiving, almost reversed the curse, the Big Five game losing streak. And this was a very, very valiant effort, a very hard fought battle against the Buffalo Bills. And when we talked about this game in the preview of it, we said they don't have to win this game to prove they're legit. All they have to do is play them close, and that they did, Nick. This Detroit Lions team seems for real. They can play the best teams very, very close, and they look like they're just a few key pieces away from being true contenders. But Nick, this isn't the only game they played this season. They still have six more left to go down the stretch. And that's why we want to know, Detroit fans, let us know in the comments. 6 games left. What do you think your record is going to be at the end of the season? Just full record. In these next 6 games, what do you think that will make this Detroit team's record look like at the end of the season? Let us know in the comments below. But Nick, what do you got on Detroit?
Yeah, so the Lions, like you alluded to, off a brutally close loss against the Buffalo Bills. They're 4-7, second in the division right now. And look, it's been kind of an up and down season for Detroit. They've started to play better as of late, so they have a chance to finish strong, maybe sneak into the playoffs, maybe not. We'll wait and see. But it's clear to anyone who's followed the Lions or frankly followed the NFL the last few years is that the Lions have been building for the long term. That goes all the way back to trading Matt Stafford for Jared Goff, plus all those draft picks from the Los Angeles Rams. And that's what I'll focus on here. So this was originally brought to my attention by Fan Nation from All Lions. I'm going to read just here from the article briefly. The Detroit Lions currently possess a top three draft pick following the Los Angeles Rams' latest loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. As a result of the Rams' continued struggles, Detroit now possesses the number 3 overall pick and the number 13 overall pick in the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft. Miles, what that means is the Lions are in a unique position to be building a strong core, strong nucleus like they've been doing the last few years and have a powerful position to really upgrade some key positions. And I'm going to go back to the Thanksgiving game for a second, because coming down the stretch, obviously the eyes of the world as they're eating dinner or getting done with things, or either before or after Thanksgiving dinner, watching that fourth quarter. And I think the distinction between the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl contender and Detroit Lions really close to being contender was clear. Down the stretch, Josh Allen made huge big time throws. Jared Goff did not. That's the difference, right? You've got a good coach. You've got good scheme on the Lions. You've got good players in a lot of positions, and they got better players coming. Jameson Williams is going to make his appearance very, very soon, his debut. But the reality is they haven't been good enough at quarterback. We've talked about it before, but that's just the reality. And so at number 3 overall, Miles, I think it's clear, everybody should know this at this point, the Detroit Lions are going to go quarterback. I think Bryce Young is the clear guy here. He's already got the connection with Williams. I'm a big Bryce Young guy. I think he's a ready-made, ready-to-start-now guy. And the Detroit Lions next year, as weird as it's going to be, the Detroit Lions next year in 2023 and in 2024 are going to be kind of in a win-now mode, right? They're going to have their young nucleus getting older, more mature, playing together. Dan Campbell's going to be his 3rd and then 4th year with the Lions. They figured things out on offense, starting to figure things out a little bit more on defense. I think it makes sense next year, using that LA Rams draft pick that they got, that's going to turn out to be a huge steal for them, I think, to get a quarterback, ideally Bryce Young, to be the final piece in the puzzle to make the Lions a true contender once again in that division and in the entire NFC for that matter. What are your thoughts on the situation there with the Lions with both Goff? Do they go quarterback? Do they go not? Do they ride with Goff? Or what do you think there?
I think they definitely go quarterback. You can't turn down how this is a team that is too good to get a top 5 pick, Nick. This is a team that only reason they're here is because they made the trade with Stafford to the Rams. They have lucked out on that one and gotten into an opportunity to get a top 3 draft pick potentially. And I think they got to spend it on a quarterback. I really like Young here to be the quarterback for this Lions team. I really like the Young Williams connection. This team is getting better, Nick, every single day. Like we said, Jameson Williams set to return any day now. This defense playing better and better every single game. I think if Okudah was back, obviously we knew that he wasn't going to play against the Bills. But if he was back for this game against the Bills, I think that would have made a really big difference for them. I think the defense started out so bad early on, but they've built themselves up to be quite respectable, I would say. The offense, St. Brown looks like a monster. DJ Shark looks pretty good. You get Jameson Williams in there. The running back, they have 2 guys back there, Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift, who are both players. A decent offensive line nucleus. They could probably use 1 or 2 more guys in there, but there's a really, really strong nucleus of guys on the offensive line. So I think this team has so much going for it. You can't squander this opportunity to have such a high draft pick because it's not going to come around again. And you gotta like that because, quite frankly, it's because you're too good to go this high in the draft again. So use it while you can. Get yourself a nice quarterback. Then a little bit mid round, whether you pick a skill position guy, I think maybe go defense, bolster that defense a little bit more, make it a really strong unit. I think that there's so many opportunities. You think of Detroit Lions last year, they had two really good draft picks. I think Jameson Williams was picked again in that 12 range, somewhere in the mid teen.
Yep.
And obviously Aiden Hutchinson was picked number 2. It's going to be same kind of draft for the Lions this year. The opportunity to get 2 more big time impact players on this team. This is going to be a really exciting time for the Lions. And if you spend these picks right, like on a quarterback and on another impact player, this team is going to go to the moon. It's going to skyrocket. You won't believe how good it could be.
Yeah, and I'm just going to leave the Lions fans with another big, kind of hope and kind of like ideal scenario here is right now the number one dynasty in the NFL currently, if you'll call them a dynasty, is the Kansas City Chiefs. So the most consistent winner year in and year out. And what did the Chiefs do? They started with their head coach. They got Andy Reid in the fold. They brought in a veteran quarterback that helped stabilize the ship a little bit as it kind of cleared things up. They brought in a good core nucleus, brought in some playmakers on offense, added a solid offensive line, and then waited for the opportunity to draft a quarterback. They got Pat Mahomes. They inserted him, and the rest has been history. The Lions have a chance here to repeat that exact same Chiefs model, and they just need to execute on here coming into 2023. It's been a nice year for the Lions so far, like at least the last month or so. And there's a lot of football left. Who knows? They could even make a playoff run. But thanks to the Rams struggling and a smart trade by the Lions front office, they have a chance to be huge, not just good, not just contend, but be a legitimate prominent contender in the NFC for the long term if they execute this offseason, mainly using that Rams draft pick.